Hi, I'm Dan from the Rock Nerd Radio Show, and we're doing another Which is Better today. We're going to be comparing the new Marvel Legends Deluxe Release Blob and the old Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Blob. Let's check it out and see if we can't figure out which one is better.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
Round one on Which is Better is the paint and appearance round. And there are a couple things here that make this round a little difficult for me to judge. So let's look at the Build-A-Figure first, because the Build-A-Figure, it came out in the early 2000s and in the late 2000s, I should say. And like, it does look really good. I will say the costume, his clothing is painted in a way that reflects light, so this does look very shiny, while this one is done in a great kind of flat paint way to make it almost look like he's wearing clothes. But what I like to look at here is the fact that this figure has so much sculpted detail in it, both in his stomach and chest area, and also in his legs, and even in his arms. Like, we have some great, rolls of flesh here on him that really make the blob look like the blob. So round one, although this one is very nice and kind of more of a comic accurate blob, the sculpt work on this one is incredible. So I'm giving the paint and appearance round to the old Build-A-Figure blob. Round two is about articulation. We're going to start with the Build-A-Figure first. Now, the articulation on this one, even though it was one of Hasbro's first attempts at a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure, is still pretty good. I gotta say, he can turn up here at his diaphragm. His head can turn, but it looks a little inhuman past a certain point. His arms, of course, go up and down. They go like that. He does have articulation at the elbow. It is just a kind of a soft joint, but it's there. His wrists articulate, and he did have articulating fingers as well, which don't always look the best in every position, but it could have been worse. Nothing else really at the waist until we get down below to his legs, where he has some articulation at the ankle. They can rock back and forth a little bit. They can swivel a little bit. He has toe articulation, and that is on both feet. Now, for his legs, the calf can turn, and he does have articulation here, which allows his legs to go in and out, and then you can rotate like this. This is that old style leg articulation. Then you can kick the legs forward and backwards. Honestly, I always really disliked that leg style of articulation. I was so happy when Hasbro moved on from it. Not a whole lot has really changed for the deluxe one. I will say his head can move a little better because the head is seated on a ball joint. So he gets a little up and down, he gets a little side to side, he can even kind of tilt his head a bit. He does have more movement up here at his diaphragm because now he can go backwards and forwards with it. So more than just swivel than what the Build-A-Figure had. The arms, again, they rotate 360, they go up and down. The elbows, now, of course, they do crunch, but they also articulate here too, so we have an additional point of movement. And his wrists, of course, they turn and they have the joint there. He doesn't open his hands until you look at his additional hand accessories, which are a set of open hands. We'll talk about those later. Moving back down, nothing else in the body. But when we get to the legs, this is where this figure is very different than the Build-A-Figure, because these legs can go forwards without that weird rotation joint. They can also kick out. They do have swivel at the thigh. They have knee articulation, and at the knee, thought it could move. Now I don't want to mess with it. Maybe it can't move. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought the knee could move. Mine feel a little stuck, so I'm not going to try to move them. But then at the feet, we get some fantastic ankle rockers, as well as significantly more movement on the feet here. There we go. Than what we had on the Build-A-Figure. So the winner for round two is actually kind of a hard thing for me to call. I will say, without a doubt, the new deluxe blob figure has more articulation. He can move in different ways and in some better ways. But I don't think we can discount how at the time of this figure's release, just how well it was able to move. The fact that a figure that is this big and in this shape is able to move around and really, still articulate and be able to pose very well is a testament to what the Marvel Legends team was doing, in my opinion, before any other action figure teams were doing it. So overall, yes, round 2 is going to go to the new Deluxe Blob, but it cannot be left out. It has to be mentioned that the Build-A-Figure Blob was really, really well done for when it came out. Round 3 is the accessory round, and I have really nothing to say about the Build-A-Figure Blob because he came with no additional accessories unless you count all the figures needed to get all his pieces. Now, as a quick reminder, this Blob needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 figures to complete all his different pieces. I remember hunting down each of those figures just so I could complete this Blob figure. I'm not 100% sure if I still have anyone from this wave left in my collection anymore. It's been a while, but no other accessories on this Blob. The new Deluxe Blob actually comes with a couple interchangeable accessories. In the Marvel Legends way, he comes with 2 heads and 2 sets of hands. This is how I have him displayed right now, but I can swap him out so he would look like this. And here we go, here's Blob with his alternate head and alternate set of hands. The fact that you can get this figure in one shot, not have to buy 8 other figures to get him, and that he comes with additional pieces like extra hands and an extra head are really cool to me, so therefore, our Deluxe Blob is going to be the winner of this round. Round 4 is about price and availability. At the time of this recording in 2023, the new Blob is available from sites like Hasbro Pulse at a grand total of $55. Kind of steep, but these deluxe releases that are coming out from the Legends team are getting more and more expensive. At the time of this recording, this Blob figure seems to be selling for around $100. Now, if that sounds a lot to you, I gotta put it into perspective. When Legends were coming out, when this Blob figure was the Build-A-Figure, I want to say Legends were $10 to $12. And if you needed 8 different figures to complete this figure, you were still looking at spending between $80 to $100. All right, there was a time where this Blob commanded a lot of money. The Build-A-Figure was going for around $200. I'm going to say even as high as $250. All right, so in the present of this video, in 2023, I have to say that the Deluxe one is still a better cost, or still a better price than our Build-A-Figure. So the new one wins round 4. Finally, round 5 is display compatibility, and honestly, either of these Blob figures are going to work on your display. I think it really comes down to your own personal choice of what type of Blob figure you want. Do you want something that looks a little more animation and comic book art accurate, or something that is really like hyper sculpted and very well detailed? Unfortunately, both of these still look really good, so I can't give you a decision on this round. I'm going to say that this round is a tie. Alright, so if we discount that last round, the overall score ends up being 3-1 in favor of the new Deluxe Blob. Both of these figures are fantastic, and honestly, it's great to have either one in your display. But if I'm going strictly by the numbers here, the new Deluxe Blob wins out on today's edition of Which is Better. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, tune in for more Rock Nerd Radio, and I will catch you guys next time. Have a good one.
Come geek